all things mortgage and real estate related. The show that brings you all the hottest topics and insights directly from those who know it most. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
What is up, everyone? Paul Apostolakis, Salvatore Cusmano, Brad Weisgerber. We are Inside Real Estate. We have some really special guests today, Brad and Ryan Wolf with Hall & Hunter Realtors. There's more to it, right? It's like
Hall & Hunter Realtors.
That's it. I nailed it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Ryan, get up. Put it in your mouth, man.
All right.
There you go. There you go.
That's weird.
It's gonna be a fun show today. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about your business, how you guys got into it. You guys are brothers. Yeah. It's kind of a family thing that you guys have going on. It's good. You're very Trump-esque with your look today. I don't know if anybody ever brings that up, but
no.
you look like you could be related. Hopefully you're not. You might be just
burned.
we just lost half the listeners out there.
There goes everybody. Not exactly. Anyways, so today, I want to get into your story. I do want to talk. There's a weird thing that's happening. I don't know if you guys saw. There's a lawsuit being had against NAR and a few other people about compensation for buyer's agents. They're saying that they've been overcompensated, so we'll talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about the market, but let's get into you guys right now. Tell the audience a little bit about, because obviously, I mean, it's funny, Ryan, you actually did mortgages. You've been at kind of title mortgages. You've kind of been in every part of it, and you just gone straight to the real estate side.
I've been doing real estate half my life.
Half your life. Yeah.
Yep, pretty close.
So like 10 years, right?
A little over half my life.
So talk to us about your story, guys. I mean, obviously your father championed the business for a long time, and he's got a great reputation in the industry. And obviously for you guys, it seems like a natural fit for you guys to go into the business. So talk to us about how you guys got into it. And you guys both have lived through the downturn, so that's always interesting to talk about.
Definitely.
You bet.
Well, we definitely grew up in it and had a lot of dinner table conversations about real estate. So it was
your whole life.
It was
right?
in our blood. It was something that, even if we didn't know, it's something that we were kind of grown up and trained to love. So I got into the business. Brad initially got into real estate out of school. I think he had a different job for a year or so, but it was inevitable that he was going to get into real estate. Yeah. And then I came out and I didn't want to compete against my brother, but yet real estate was kind of my focus that I wanted to get into. So I got into the title insurance business for a couple of years with Devon Title, a local title company.
They do a good job too. Yeah.
Which was fun. It was great. Became a closer, got to learn the documentation of the whole process. The mortgage side, the real estate side, it gave me a great basis to go from.
Yeah.
And then got into the mortgage business. I was
Crazy.
in the mortgage
Why
business
did you
for
do that?
a little. And I'm going to talk good about
It's
it.
easy and good money, right?
It's
That's what
easy,
they all
simple,
say.
yeah.
But
Easy money.
Easy money.
I
Low
got
stress.
into it when it was great, and then
no
went
stress.
through the downturns. But I learned a ton about it, and it was, I want to say it was about 12 or 13 years in the mortgage side. But the whole time I knew I wanted to get into real estate. That was my focus. And the reason I didn't do it any earlier is you have a pipeline growing. You kind of worried about leaving something, starting something new.
That's always tough. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I finally did it, and I love it. It's awesome. And then I get to work with this guy who's my best friend.
How
so it's
many
pretty
years?
cool.
Are you guys best friends? Really? Are you guys get along?
Yeah, we do get along.
That's good.
We
Yeah,
didn't
it's
when we
so
were young.
incestual. we live an eighth of a mile from each other.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, our parents live about an eighth of a mile from us, and not only that, we vacation together, we work together, and we'll still call each other for beers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're pretty close.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good
is
thing.
good, though.
Yeah,
we
it
hate
is.
each other.
Absolutely.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's awesome. I think the more just the all that experience in the industry prior to even getting into real estate, I feel is very, very valuable because you kind of understand all facets. And I think a lot of agents, unfortunately, don't even really have a good grasp on the lending side or the finance side. It's tough for them to even they just think it happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? It just, where's my money?
And it happens right.
Right.
We should never.
No, there's
What's
always
taking-
bumps.
What's taking so long on the pre-approval? Like 3-second process?
Because we're trying to do it right, dude. You're
It's-
self-employed.
Yeah.
And they don't, they don't want to know. The agents don't want to know the process until there's a serious situation, and then they want to know, what happened and why, and so eventually you have to know both sides.
You got to at least know enough.
You do, right.
Just like us. Like, I mean, Sal, we have to know enough on the real estate side just to, to understand both sides.
Yeah,
of
for
it.
sure. It's, what's taking so long to negotiate the foundation issue?
Sure, if you
it's
didn't
like,
understand the
well,
real
they gotta
estate
get
process, it'd make it a
Where's
lot more
the
difficult.
addendum?
Yeah.
We need to close. We know it just
But
doesn't work that way.
it's also, I think a lot of people try to act like the other professional. Like a real estate guy will they'll know
Stay
a
in
lot
your
about
lane,
mortgage.
bro.
It's like
Stay
stay in your own lane,
bro.
Well, that's the thing. It's like you can go enough to talk about it and understand and possibly find out any issues that might happen or be able to kind of insight on some stuff. But I always say talk to the professional, call your lender, call the title company. But I can definitely help you out as far as the process from how
I
I've
think
seen
that's
it go.
really important because if someone asks me I might know the answer or even have a good,
Yeah.
but I don't want to give the wrong. I mean, ultimately the client needs to get service the best way, and me giving them any real estate advice, like how should I negotiate? No, that's not me, man. You have a professional.
That's why you have a real estate agent, right?
I'm not the. Well, what is this? Talk to your. What about this? No, talk to your guy, right?
And also, real estate agents, when they give an estimate of closing costs, it's like, man, for
why
better
would
or
you do
worse,
that?
right?
Way
Why
different
would
than
you do
what.
that?
Yeah, because
exactly.
it's like no matter who the lender is, they got different
Or when an
fees,
agent
different ways to do it.
schedules
They
the
don't know if
closing
they're
before
escrowing or
it
not.
closes.
Can I ask you that? Why the fuck do you guys schedule the closing before we have it clear to close?
The only
You know why? Well, and I'm not suggesting this is the right way, but the title companies are typically pressuring us like we got to get it on the books. We got to get it on the books.
Yeah.
If
They
we
wanna
don't
make sure
put,
that
if we don't get it on the books, then we may not have
The
that
date available. Yeah,
so,
I see that.
So
yeah.
the agent, not so much the brokerage, but the agent specifically, or the buyer, may say, well, let's just get it scheduled. We could always postpone.
Yeah.
So then it puts
But
pressure,
that never happens,
pressure
right?
on
They
you guys.
schedule it and they're like, well, why aren't we closing? I'm like, well,
that's true.
And the client calls.
Well, what
"Are
happens
we
a
clear to
lot
close?"
is we'll get an email from title.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
are you clear to close yet? No, we're not. At this moment, we're expecting
very
it in the
close,
next
right.
day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then somehow I'll get a scheduling email and a call from like a listing agent. Oh,
Yeah.
we heard we're clear to close. I'm like, no, tomorrow, or usually by the time we get the call, we are. But I think it's
knowing that. See, these are good conversations because knowing that we can go back. We have a in-house title company. We can, discuss those.
Yeah,
those
guys, don't do that.
concerns.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's all about the relationship and the team, right?
you
The more there's
betcha.
communication, and it's like, hey, no problem. You can move this up a week. We can schedule it. We're going to be good to go, right? But sometimes you ride the lightning on the deals until the very end, and
Puts
that happens, right?
unnecessary pressure and false expectations out there.
That's the thing. We're really big on creating the proper expectations. Even though I think I'm going to be clear to close, and we're probably going to be able to do it.
Right.
In our business, on our side, a million things could happen, right? There's so many it's a minefield, right? And you're trying to navigate it. So I'm always very leery. I always caution on the side of err on the side of caution because I don't want to screw something up. Anyways, so Brett, you tell me about how obviously you just went straight to real estate.
Yeah, for the most part, I was at a marketing firm for about a year out of college, and long and short of it is that decided I wasn't happy there, and that was right about the same time Dennis, our dad, was moving our two offices into our current location downtown Birmingham, and he said, "I'll tell you what, Brad, why don't you come coordinate the move?" He didn't want to pack up all the boxes, basically.
You wanted to be the grind.
Why don't you come coordinate the move, right? Thank God we only had two or three computers in the office at that time. This is back in 1997.
Tower computers are like this.
Yeah. And come coordinate the move. I'll pay you, and you can go out and interview during the day. And I said, okay, great. So I started doing that, packing boxes, and realizing, with that being said, I had my real estate license. I got my real estate license early on.
Yeah.
And so then all of a sudden my buddies started calling me. I was 22 years old. My buddies started calling me saying, "Hey, you said you're working at Hall & Hunter now, and I want to buy a house. Can you help me?" And I thought, well, I don't know, maybe I could. All of a sudden my first sale, 22 years old, I thought, wow, this is pretty decent money. And then I looked around the office and I realized the real successful agents are very successful, doing real well. And I liked it. I thought, boy, I could be out making money, hanging out with my buddies, selling them their first homes, driving around.
It got real sexy real fast.
Telling jokes out of the office on a summer day and making money, showing houses.
And then
fell in love with it.
That's
and
awesome.
The rest is history. That was 22 years ago.
You've seen a lot in those 22 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been wild.
Sure.
And your father, I don't want to skip over him. I mean, he started the whole thing. How long ago was that?
He bought into the business. He bought Hall & Hunter in 1982.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize this, Rye. You probably caught it as well. We just had our recent award ceremony a couple weeks ago, and he had a very small part in the program, and while he was talking during the awards breakfast, he had mentioned the first year when he bought the business in 1982, his total volume was $8 million
for the whole
for the
business.
whole office. And just last year we did a little over $400 million. So it tells you where he's taking it. So
that's a big. I mean, think about that.
Yeah,
that's pretty wild, man. So
wild.
It's been successful. I mean, you guys have a really good brand in the area. I mean, you guys are located in Birmingham, Michigan, which is a really nice. I mean, it's like the Manhattan of Michigan. Like, it's, by the way,
competitive.
It's really competitive. You guys have a lot of agents that want to be a piece of that pie.
Yeah.
So how do you guys navigate? I mean, how do you set yourself apart in this really crowded, noise-filled room where everybody's kind of vying for everybody's attention? It's difficult in today's world to kind of set yourself apart, really. Mm-hmm. So what do you guys do as far as that goes?
Well, I think as far as people do ask, they're like, holy cow, there's literally a real estate company on every corner in this little square mile area in Birmingham.
Yeah, bro.
And there's thousands of agents. But there's enough business to go around and don't get caught up in what everyone else is doing. Get caught up in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And where's your niche? What are you delivering to your clients? Where's your sphere of influence, and what are they doing? I think so many people with technology nowadays get so worried about everyone else and don't worry about themselves or worry about their sphere of influence. They worry about the people that they're not getting.
Yeah.
It's like, don't worry about the people you have. Continue to stay in touch with them. They're the ones that are going to grow your business. They're the ones that are loyal to you. But from our end, as far as a company,
stand out. What makes us different? Really,
we have our niche, and we try to push that niche. And we're not saying that we're better than everyone else or everyone else is better than us, but we believe in what we have and what we deliver as far as a product to the clients out there. And it's something that we're big on a full service real estate company. We believe our agents are best in the best situation doing what they do best, which is listing and selling real estate. It's not at back of the office sitting on a computer in front of a desk. So we deliver more of a full service product as far as from our end.
Yeah, I mean, so it kind of echoes your philosophy on that a lot. Like, sometimes I personally, I'm vindictive, and I'm like, I want to kill them. And Sal's like, dude, they don't matter, right? It kind of shuts me down.
A lot of people, to your point, they go really wide with their relationships, right? I want to work with everyone, right? And it's like, well, in doing so, right, like that, what you have to go deep with, right? Or someone else will, and they'll be gone.
Yeah,
right.
That's very true.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like you said, it's a super crowded field, but to your point, it's a pretty big pie, man.
It is.
Right? There's a lot of there's thousands of transactions happening like right now, right? And worrying about what that other guy's doing. I mean, great. It's good to have goals and people that you want to beat, but to make that your focus, you kind of lose the focus of like if we just worried about what everybody else was doing, Sal, I don't think we'd be successful because we just have to to own what we do, right?
Yeah. No.
Well, we've had. You're absolutely right. I agree with you, Paul. We've had a lot of conversations over the last year or two because we have our office, Ryan and I, our dad. We've been going through some transitions as to who's steering the ship, where are we going, what's the future of Hall & Hunter. So we've had a lot of those conversations, and they continue to bring us back to who we are. What do we do best? What sets us apart from our competitors? Yeah. And then let's build on that. And the fun thing is that we are definitely different. And I think we're one of the only or one of the last independent real estate companies. We're not a franchise. So, things like that.
How does that? So in your mind, how is that an advantage on some level, right?
Well, it really goes back down to all the way down to control of our brand. We know Birmingham. We've been here for 65 years. The company has been. Our brand has been. So we know Birmingham, and we can change with the market. We can change with our local market, and it really is quality over quantity. We're never interested in having the most offices on every corner in America. We're not interested in having the most agents. We're focused on having the very best agents. Yeah. We have 90 agents in the office, but which may sound like a lot, it's not.
Not comparatively speaking. Yeah.
One of the smaller companies in town, but what that means is, on top of that, our agents on average sell more volume than any other agent in our local market. Yeah. So it's again quality.
Yeah. I mean, there's two ways you can look at it. Some of these places. Look, some places have like hundreds of agents. They don't care if you have a pulse, like you're in. Right. Like you can work here. Like, here's the phone book. Go make some calls because we don't care because we're just gonna make money off you. So like, I think we talk about that. Like, we do not want to hire people.
Time.
It's just it's a drain to have all these people. Like, it takes manpower. It takes
Not only
resources.
that. Go ahead.
I was just saying, you got like the big, like the big house brokerages that just there's 300 plus agents, right? And they just kind of like people come, people go, whatever. They got teams, they got this, they got that,
Right.
And then the boutique or the small side, right? You either got like lead shops that do all Zillow and everything like that, and it's like an assembly line with low splits and all that, and then you have the people who are quality and go out and get the business.
How do you
That's
guys
the
feel
hardest
about
people to
Zillow?
find.
Zillow, you know what's funny? I think there's two types of agents with Zillow. There's the agent that hates Zillow, and there's the agent that loves Zillow and buys a ton of leads.
Yeah.
And do I believe in the leads from Zillow, saying they're good or bad? There's the right agent that does get leads
That's
from
right.
Zillow, and it works.
It
just
takes
depends
the
on
right
who it
agent.
is.
It's
Yeah.
not everybody.
Yeah.
It's a
But
good point.
I think the biggest thing in my outlook on Zillow is it's not going anywhere. It's
Right.
not leaving us. We're not going to knock it down. We're not going to shut it out.
You're
We
not
have to
affecting
learn-
what Zillow does.
No. I mean,
No.
they're so
No.
big. We have to learn how to work with Zillow, and there's so much positive that we can take from Zillow that I think so many people get crowded and fogged up about, Zillow's doing this. We need to stop them. We need to stop them. That's not going to happen.
Figure
And
out how
you
to
need
learn-
to look at the positive side
use
of it
it.
all, and
You're
the
right.
glass is half full versus half
Well,
empty. And,
It's a way
and-
better
I think the
attitude.
difference is working with it as
Yeah.
opposed to being dependent on
Exactly.
it, though.
Yes,
'Cause
that's
the
true.
biggest thing. A lot of people set their businesses up on huge lead buys from
It's
Realtor.com, Zillow, this,
It
that.
gets crazy expensive, and those prices
Oh, yeah.
fluctuate every month.
10 G's a month,
Yeah.
for a mid-sized team, and it's like,
Yeah.
It's
okay.
But in Rye, you're absolutely right. You could spend as much money as the next guy on Zillow, but I'll tell you, if you don't know how to work those leads,
Yeah.
It doesn't
they'll-
matter.
It doesn't matter.
It's again, it's all about how you utilize the tool and acting like it doesn't exist or that it's we're
You're
gonna,
gonna
like
get
you said,
rolled.
we're gonna take it down. If you got to just
Well,
evolve
one
within
lead
the
gets
Sure.
multiple people calling it anyway, so it's
Sure.
speed to lead, it's constant contact, and at the end of it all,
Yeah.
you don't really have a relationship.
Well,
Right.
and I
You can
think
build
you hit
it.
the
That's-
nail right on the head, and that relationship word has been something that's been real important to us, and it has been talked about recently quite often. I guess maybe I'm old school in the way that I'm not a real big component of lead generation, and but we have agents in the office that believe in it, that work it, and it works for them. I personally like the relationship selling side of it, and building relationships and depending on them for referrals and referral.
What's
based.
stronger than a referral, right?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
And they're going out, they're growing, they're selling for you. And I think it's funny, as Brad says, there's so many agents out there that are so worried about 5% of their business when 95% of their business comes from their sphere of influence, and they're not touching that. They're not working on that. They're so worried about the 5% they don't get.
Yeah.
It's like you're spending 95% of your time on your 5%.
yeah.
Reevaluate, look at it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't try to grow your business and look at that, but equate the right time and effort into that amount.
That model has much more longevity too.
Exactly. You're looking at a career then. You're not looking
Yeah.
at something I want to hit it in the next 6 months or a
Well,
year or 2
yeah,
years.
I think the really good agents know how to do both, right?
Yeah.
They spend most of their time
Exactly.
with their
Yeah.
sphere because that's where most of their business comes from,
Yeah.
but they're open to leads. And those leads that they get, they spend the time to create a relationship
Yeah.
to
grow.
pull it to the other side, right?
You're
I agree
absolutely
100%. And that's anything in technology. You have to embrace it and you have to run with it. It's done some unbelievable things in our industry, and I think there's a lot of people that have tried to push it out, but it's here, and it's created that the more
Learn
of
it.
the it's more of an aggressive culture as far as how real estate goes, and it's a faster pace, but it's awesome. I mean, you look at how much it's
Yeah.
done for our industry. It's opened up a lot. It's opened up a lot for the customers, which I think a lot of people forget about, and a lot of the agents forget about. How is it going to make me better? How is it going to make my life easier? And we're in a customer-based business.
So
I
it
think
doesn't-
a lot
it's not
of
about
agents
you,
forget
dude.
about it. It's
Nobody
not
cares
about
about
you.
it.
No,
Yeah.
it's like
That's right.
how
Yeah.
can you facilitate these clients better? And that's the main thing that I think a lot of these agents forget about.
it takes a long time to figure that out too, and get that. When you have a business, right? Like it's these guys that, for us on our side, leave like a Quicken Loans or a Loan Depot or something like that. They're like, I've closed 5,000 loans in the past, 10 years.
Nobody
blah,
cares,
blah,
buddy.
blah.
Nobody
Look
gives
at
a
my
shit.
reward and my bobblehead. I'm like, sweet.
I got this.
What
Gilbert
agents
to
do you work with?
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, where's it going to come tomorrow?
I don't like agents.
Yeah.
I don't like agents. I don't need them. Well,
Yeah.
all right, bro.
That's tough.
Good luck
What do
out
you
there,
guys
brother.
what type of leads do you guys offer?
We don't.
We're
Go
not.
talk to someone. Pick up your phone and make some friends, dude.
Well, and I think you're going to see the industry go back here in the next year or two. I think it's going to, it really took a flip side, and it went to more of a unit-based industry. As far as on real estate side, how many units are you popping through? What are you doing? I think we're going to see it get back more to a relationship-based business, and what are you offering these clients? And I'm not saying it's going to be hand-holding, but I think you're going to see kind of that rubber band effect come into
Service,
play more.
yeah.
Service
You-
is going to
more
be
white
much more
glove.
important.
Yeah, you're going to
Because
have that.
much
That's
more
the way it
white
always
glove,
goes.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's something. That's what our niche is. That's something that
that's
we,
the only way to really
feel is gonna be
combat the
important.
technology, right? Because what's the one thing technology is lacking?
Yeah,
I-
that's
is that service, that white glove, good feeling service.
You got to marry the two, dude.
Yeah,
you
have
got
to.
you got to have
You
both.
have
You can't have one
Well,
or the other
I think
today.
before that happens, there'll be a larger divide of
Yes.
people who use technology at lower margins, right, or lower,
They're always going to be there. You're right.
Yeah.
like, that might become more efficient than it is today, and people do that. But I think that a lot of people will still gravitate towards the full service side with the, 'cause
Sure. Yeah.
they need to know what's going on, and a robot can't do that for you.
Yeah.
There's enough out there for everybody.
There's a lot.
It's not
That's what people don't get. The pie's huge, dude. Unless you own 80% market share, you don't have to worry about anybody else, dude.
Could you imagine?
You know what I mean? Like, no, I mean, even like Quicken owns like 5% market share, right? And
I
they're
think
the
it's
biggest.
7.5 last year.
Whatever it is,
which is
right?
It's cool.
huge.
Which is huge, but ultimately, it's just 7.5%. They're like the largest, right?
93% fight. You're
Yeah.
fighting over.
So I don't know many people that own more than like 5% of the market share. So just work on that.
If you own,
You know what I mean? Just get more market
if
share.
you owned
bro.
0.5%, you wouldn't have any worries.
No,
Yeah.
you're right.
I mean,
That's
I'd
true.
be crazy.
Yeah,
0.5% of market
it's
share.
crazy
That'd
to
be
think
pretty
that.
high.
That's true.
So I wanted to get into this lawsuit. And I wanted to get you guys' opinion. So basically, this Minnesota guy is suing. I'm going to pull it up right now. The NAR and Remax and Keller Williams. He's created a class action lawsuit, basically saying that buyers agents are ripping off the sellers because they're taking full 3%, and they're not. They're not worth 3%, basically, right? And they're forcing themselves on the seller to take even if they do a forced sale by owner, he's saying they have to take 3%. And he's saying their value now is not worth 3%, and they're basically ripping people off. So, which is interesting because I was actually going to talk today before I saw this article when I was using the bathroom.
That's where we're at right now.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Now you're doing
We're
your
actually in
reading.
the bathroom right now. So I was going to talk about how a lot of people don't know as a buyer that it doesn't cost them anything to have proper representation.
Exactly.
Right? A lot of people are like, well, how much is it going to cost me to have an agent? I'm like, dude, it's free. Like, you got to have representation. It's like being on trial and getting a free lawyer. Like, you need to have the proper representation. What?
In my mind, it's total backwards. I feel like I feel like both agents on both sides deserve the cut they get because this both hard work. But I would say that the listing agent does less work than a buyer's agent. The buyer's agent's busting ass day in and day out, bringing buyers through multiple
They're
homes.
different. I think
They're totally
they're
different. They're both worth their cut, but
Yeah.
it's a different.
Every
it's a
deal
type of
is
work,
different,
right?
though.
Yeah, every deal is
Sometimes, a buyer's agent goes one and done, and the client showed them the house that they found on Zillow,
Right.
And they're like, I feel like we should get the house for cheaper because we found the house on Zillow.
Here's the
and
part of
showed
that
you
I
it,
think
and-
is bullshit. In today's world, your agent's probably not going to find your house because just as fast as
Yeah, you're
it hits the
online.
market, you're
Yeah.
seeing it on
You're
Zillow
right.
because
Yeah, you're right.
that's not what they're there for anymore. I believe that they're there to protect you on the contract, to negotiate for you, to put you in the best possible position
right.
to buy the
Exactly.
house.
To answer
That's
their
the
phone.
Yeah, that's
the
their value.
for
It's
sure.
not. They're not fine. They're not having a pocket listing.
Yeah.
They might, but like it's rare, right?
It's
So
not.
the reality is, it's representation in a pretty substantial. It's the largest potentially financial transaction most people are going to have.
That and a lot of times most emotional because you're buying a lifestyle, you're buying a home
Yeah.
for your kids, and
Yeah, you
close
need-
to school, and you're right on, Paul. I mean, it's not the driving around at how many houses or finding that house with them. It's having the knowledge of the area where the buyer can say, "Hey, Brad. Hey, Rye. What do you think about the price?" I
Yeah.
mean, well, here, by the way, here's some comps. Here's what's sold, and so it's putting a value on the home. It's negotiating, going to bat. It's looking at the condition of the home with the inspector and coaching them through what to look
and
for.
a
things like
buyer
that.
who buys a house every 7 years or 5 years doesn't have that acumen to understand. For the
even
most
if they
part.
have a pretty good idea.
Yeah,
And
you
maybe
still
they've
need
been
to-
through it
yeah.
a few times.
Yeah.
Still, I would. I would. If I was buying in a different market, I would use an agent.
Yeah,
for sure.
because you want to
Yeah.
understand the market, and you also. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, probably one of the most under valued value adds that an agent brings is their relationships,
That's what I was
their
gonna say, too.
inspectors, their
Exactly.
lenders, their title companies,
network.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Not
their
only that-
team to make sure that the deal gets done.
I
And their
agree,
reputation with
100%.
the other agents. So if it's a competitive situation and there's multiple offers going into a listing agent, you want, if you're representing yourself,
It's critical.
Yeah.
You're like thrown out immediately. But if you have a good agent that has a good reputation, you're towards the top of the pile.
And when you
Exactly.
use that $500 guy flat lister, it's like, well, hey,
Is he still around, by the way?
probably.
he's around.
We won't
He's
name
always
names,
around.
but I'm sure everyone's like, man, I
Nightmare.
love that guy, right?
Exactly.
not really.
Nightmare, dude. Nightmare. So yeah, so this lawsuit is basically saying that, but I think it's the opposite. I think that is critical in a home buyer's process to have that representation. It's so important, especially for a first time. Like think about you're a first time home buyer. You have all these list of wants, and it's up to them to like. If it was up to them to like discern where they should live, how they tax, they don't know any of that, right? And having the right team around you when you're buying a house is really important. Mortgage, title, whatever it is, you got to create that team around you to get the proper tutelage.
Often people choose make the worst decision based upon a commission. Well, I feel bad for Aunt Sally, so
Right.
I don't want her to not get this 3%, right? And it's like Aunt
Sally's
Sally's like, I don't know an
Sally.
inspector or a mortgage or whatever, and like that's just
true.
it's crazy.
Unless it's Uncle Brad, then you're okay.
Yeah, exactly. But I agree. I mean, what Sal said is it's so true. An agent brings a team that's working for you. It's not always just that agent that's working for you on the buy side or on the sell side. They have a team. They have their title contact. They have their mortgage contact, which is a huge part of it, especially on the buy end. Making sure that agent is telling you, sit down with the mortgage rep, run through numbers. This is what you know to expect. What can you afford? What can't you afford? I mean, there's so many elements that go into it that people forget.
Especially like if someone comes to you and it's like, all right, do you have an inspector that you want to work with?
Yeah.
Do you have a mortgage? Well, I got this pre-approval. Do you know what loan you're approved for? I don't know. Like FHA, I don't know. The guy didn't tell me. Crazy.
And it's so like people love. Who doesn't love buying homes? It's everywhere. It's on TV. It's such
Sexy.
a sexy
Yeah,
thing.
sexy, yeah.
Buying a home, you get so caught up in just that house. There's so many other things that are part of that transaction that you don't think about. You need a professional that's on your side that's been through
Well,
it.
on $1
that's seen
million
everything.
listing, I'm pretty sure there is.
It's really easy.
Just
No,
one
no,
house.
yeah,
You show a
exactly.
house and you collect
You
it.
need a couple videos, have an open house with 1,000 people in it. You're
It's
good,
super,
man.
super
And
sexy
then
on
you pick up two more
TV.
deals.
Yeah, I want to be them.
Super stressful in real life.
And
Just
then
for
you go
like,
back to work as a lizard groomer.
Yeah,
who makes $1 million a year.
How do you groom a lizard? I don't know.
It's like,
I like that. I might
that-
use
is that a
that.
thing?
it's
I
like,
don't even
well,
wanna know.
I
That
own
could
a
go.
small child sticker store, and we got a budget of like $7.5 million.
So true. It's like,
man.
where do these people
What?
come from?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think the value proposition today is a little bit different, but there's still a lot of value to having the. I mean, it blows my mind when someone uses someone that isn't like a professional for them, and they just because they know them, and it's like, dude,
They use them for the wrong reason.
again, it's the largest transaction of your life. Like if you were on trial for murder, you'd probably like interview a couple like lawyers, right,
Yeah.
before you pick the one that you wanted. Well, if you're about to spend $200,000, wouldn't you like get the proper? Anyways, that's my rant. But for the buyers out there, understand that a real estate agent's free for you, and that's the beauty of it, and that's what this guy's saying. It's not really fair.
Well, and I've had that question from customers, clients in the past where they'll, I'll answer it the same way you said it, Paul. Well, it's free to you, but the customer or client on the other end, the buyer, is going to say, well, it's baked into the price. And the thing is to remember, baked into the seller's
Oh,
price.
got it.
Meaning,
Okay, yeah.
sellers paying your
gonna bump it
commission,
up.
but we're going to bump it up, so I'm really paying for it.
Doesn't work that way.
I always ask them, I say, I guarantee if you ask that seller if he thought he could sell his house or she could have sold his house by owner without paying a commission, would they reduce it by
No,
a
they're
certain
gonna
percent?
take the same
they're-
amount.
They're selling it by owner because they think they can
Yeah,
save
it
the
still
money.
appraise out of that,
So
right?
Yeah,
that's right. So you're going to buy it
when you buy a
with or without an
Dyson
agent.
at
And okay,
Target,
take me
it's
out
the
of
same price as
equation.
our
the
website.
seller's going to
right?
get 6. or the
Yeah.
listing
The
agent will get
listing
6
agent,
then, and you
Right.
double dip you. So,
Exactly.
Yeah.
you know,
And
there-
you don't have representation. That listing
That's
agent works
just
for the
crazy.
seller. They don't
You
work for the
should
buyer.
not do even for sale by owners, guys out there. It's a nightmare when we get a deal that's for sale by owner. I mean, Sal, you just went through it. I just went through it. We're practically writing the contract and acting as the agent, or they're calling an agent, or the listing agent's doing all the work. Like
Yeah.
it's a nightmare because they don't understand how to sell a
and
home
to
for
your
the most
point
part.
of trying to know like as much as you can about the business before you jump ships or whatever, like to other parts of the business. Like
Yeah.
when I wrote this PA the other day, full disclosure, I'm not a realtor, but like told them that like
Yeah.
get this checked by a real estate attorney,
You
whatever.
You facilitated.
Yeah, I helped him write the PA.
You broke the law.
And then I had to talk to the seller.
No, you did not.
He got it checked out by an agent, right? But it was like,
Totally kidding.
it was like, man, this sucks.
Yeah.
Well, I'm calling the seller. He's like, well, I don't know about 8 days for inspection. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
That's just
he lives in the house. Just sign it.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes back to that commercial. Stay
But
in your
again,
lane, bro.
I don't know.
mean, it's
Yeah.
kinda
Yeah, I-
hire your professional for each.
I was like-
each job.
But don't
that they-
skimp on
They
the
didn't wanna pay
important
it.
stuff.
You know?
It's like, hey, I'm gonna have heart surgery. I'm gonna just do it on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing, bro?
Well, so, yeah, when
Yeah,
you go
it's
to the
crazy.
doctor to figure something out, you
don't
don't
say
go,
I
"I'll do
got
it
this.
myself."
I'll stitch myself up.
Got murder charges. I'm
I'm
gonna
not saying we're
represent myself.
doctors.
Yeah, no, I get it. No, it's just interesting when people just try to save a penny. They live in a really like scarcity mindset. Like you're selling your house. You probably made like a lot of money on it. You're fine. Sell the house and move on and pay the price because
And
you're going to get the proper thing.
Often,
transaction.
right?
Yeah.
We do these FSBOs, and the appraisal comes in, and it's like, wow, like
Yeah.
there's another 20 G's in there that you could have just paid agents on.
Yeah, buddy.
And this would be
Yeah.
a hell of a lot less of a problem for me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You could have got more for your house. It wasn't marketed correctly. I mean,
Yeah.
just there's a lot of good and bad.
Yeah.
So
Leaving money on the table.
I
100%.
I truly believe. Listen, we're going to see margin compression coming up. I mean, it's going to happen.
Yep.
It's happening as we speak. Automation is creating a situation where we can do more volume.
Yep.
Volume will dictate the compression of margins, which I get. That's fine because if you can do more, fine. I get it. At the same time, the value proposition that we offer in the real estate business is still the same, if not higher, because it's even more complicated now with regulations and everything. So,
Right.
let's not lose sight of the fact that what we do and what agents do, what loan officers do, title companies, it's very intricate, and you need professionals doing that. You're not going to do it on your own.
No.
It's just not happening, no matter what happens.
Where's that lawsuit at? In
Minnesota.
I mean, like
Minnesota.
in the process, like, is it just filed? Has it gone anywhere?
I think it just got filed. I
I'm
don't
really
know.
interested to follow that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to read that, Paul. I don't have all the details on it, but
This is what he
it's
said.
certainly interesting.
This is what the complaint said. The conspiracy has saddled home sellers with a cost that would be borne by the buyer in a competitive market. Moreover, because most buyers and brokers will not show homes to their clients where the seller is offering a lower buyer broker commission, or will show homes with higher commission offers first, sellers are incentivized when making the required blanket non-negotiable offer to procure the buyer broker's cooperation by offering a higher commission. Basically, they're saying, if I'm showing houses, I'm not going to go show you a house where right.
Yeah,
Where the
I
reduced-
wish, yeah. And
Well,
I wish
and-
we don't have that
and
control.
we,
Agent wants, a client wants to see a house.
They're going to sell the
They're gonna
house,
sell
dude. They're not going to do it. Yeah,
That's what it
That's
is.
right.
a good agent at least, right?
That's
Exactly.
right. And the buyer's going to dictate which houses they want to look at. But there's ways around that to make sure that the buyer's agent is being covered their full commission. Meaning
Yeah.
if they're out there might be a buyer broker agreement in place with the buyer, and the agent suggesting that a full X percent would be received for my services.
Yeah.
And part or all of that can be coming from the seller. Meaning, if they show a home that's half of what they're typically
Yeah.
receiving, then the buyer's going to come up with the other half.
There's always what
Right.
people don't get. Also, everything's negotiable.
That's
when,
true.
when you put together
You're
the
right.
contract, you can put anything in there. It's a contract, and you guys can all decide on what you want to do. So,
Right.
But it's interesting. It's gonna like this guy. I must have been really pissed and just filed the lawsuit.
Yeah.
lawsuit.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, something
Who
happened.
sits
Feels
around
pretty
it?
strongly about it.
Man.
So, guys, we're going into the spring season. It's 40 degrees outside. It's going to be about 65 tomorrow. We're probably going to see tops down in Michigan. People are going to open up their pools.
On cars.
We're going to see a lot of shorts. All of a
pool's
sudden,
open.
you know, it's crazy because all of a sudden now, like, it's 65 and we can wear shorts.
Paul's attitude is so much better right
I
now.
know.
Is it?
It's
I was
like
going
a
through
total
some
turn,
dude,
man.
We did the show for like 2 months straight on Wednesdays where we barely made it into the office because every Wednesday it was
Yeah.
like, you know,
There was like a month long where we
it
had
was
we have
Wednesday,
office
Wednesday,
meetings
Wednesday.
and stuff and our office tour.
Yeah.
We had to cancel it like 3
Every
times in a row.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
You're
it was
right.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesdays
you know,
were
and
not good.
So I was going through severe depression, seasonal depression. I wasn't fun to be around.
Still aren't.
My wife almost left me. I mean, my whole life almost fell apart. But now we're good. Yeah.
With a
Sun's
smile
out.
on his face.
Sun's out, right?
So
Well,
now we're
you
good.
can't appreciate the spring and summer if you don't have to go.
So
there.
Sal said
agree.
something
Have
very
it.
poignant. He goes,
I
"If we
agree.
lived in San Diego or San Francisco, like we would just get so numb to that. But we get actually like a little bit of a high
That's true.
when it gets nice
Yeah.
out. We would lose that. I'm like, you know what? You're
I
right.
would agree.
We get
So
all
you-
4 seasons.
We get a nice little
Yeah.
high when fall
Kinda
comes, and
nice,
it's a nice
right?
cool
Yeah.
fall day out.
Yeah.
Break
And
the
then-
heat. You're like,
you get the
yeah,
snow.
And then winter just lasts 8 months.
Yeah.
Then also
This-
gives
this is a good time.
From December 26th till St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the
So
tail end
unless
of
you're
it.
getting out of town, and
Yeah.
in our business, that's like
Yeah,
hanging the skates up.
Got it.
know,
You
it's
got to
not
take a
good.
break. I mean,
But that flip
doesn't
switches flip so quickly
It is.
now
which is
there's no
probably
more
this
spring.
week.
There's no more spring. Like you
Yeah.
go through like this.
The air
this period,
smells different. Like you
Yeah.
can
Yes.
smell things.
Not in our
And those
office.
are buyers.
Smell like diesel
You're
fuel.
smelling
and salt
buyers
and-
out there.
Yeah.
So my point is, guys, we're going into the spring season. I believe personally that we're going to have a really strong spring on the in our market. Our market specifically, I think nationwide. I think a couple of reasons are the housing prices are good. They're stable. We have jobs, and the price of money is super cheap.
Yep.
Right, to borrow right now.
Still, yeah.
And I think in the high-end market that maybe you guys could talk about, we're seeing a lot of movement up there. And that kind of dictates in my mind, if those guys and girls are like feeling comfortable with the market, there's something going on, right? They're probably really in touch with what's happened financially, right?
Consumer confidence, definitely.
So what do you guys what do you guys see in the spring?
I think we're going to see a great spring. I know there's been everyone has their different perception of where things are going to go, but I
Opinions,
think this
yeah.
spring is going to be great. I sent out an email to the office actually yesterday saying, hey, this is time to go. Get ready to run and run fast because
Yeah.
this is standard in Michigan. We have this slowdown, which I know you and I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Pretty much from November, we talk about Thanksgiving through this time of the year where it's slow and you have to work on your pipeline. You have to stay in touch with your clients. If you don't, you're starting to freak out because you don't know what's coming, when the
Yeah.
next check's coming,
A
when
lot
you're
of
gonna eat.
agents right now are sweating bullets.
But it's time now, and it's time to run hard because this is when you make your piece.
Yeah.
And it's something that we're going to see here. I think market-wise, it's going to be a good market. I think we're going to see a good year, a good summer. People talk about it. Well, we're going to see a slowdown a little bit. That might be, down the road. I think
Again,
I
it's
think
the
we're going to see a
pie.
good year.
It's
I
the
think
pie,
the
right? It's how much of
pie.
that pie can you get?
I think we're going to see a good year, though. I definitely do. I think it might level off in certain cases in some areas, but overall, it's going to be a great year. And
I'm not super in touch with the markets from the real estate side, but I feel like it's already coming. I feel like I'm seeing more listings, more action. My Facebook's
Yeah.
blowing up with sold, listed, moving, all this
Yeah.
stuff. I feel like it's already heating up, and it's March.
I think that the reality is that if you look, and not to be pessimistic, because I mean, the reality is that inventory is probably lower right now than it is last
it
year.
is lower,
right?
but
so
days on
Yeah.
market, it's not bad either, though. So
Right.
things are turning.
yeah, but the reality is if you're going to have a good spring, it's because of you, right?
Exactly.
At least
Yep.
on the real estate
Nailed
side.
it.
So it's kind of like if you say, I think it's going to be a good year, it probably will be. Right, if you think about it like that, but if you are like one of the
component of
you have to be.
reminding
That stuff's
the office.
contagious.
Yeah.
It's
You got
contagious.
to.
People
Yeah.
want to be around you. People want to work with you. You're going to see
Well,
the brighter
it's so
side
funny.
of everything. You're going to work hard. It's way different.
It's
than
crazy.
the
We have quite a few relationships with real estate agents how we get our
Yeah.
business, and it's
You
like
do?
yeah, a
it
little
was
bit.
only us.
But it's like
Sorry, guys.
you can tell who's in that right mindset, right? When they call and man, it's slow, dude. I sold like 2 homes in December and
Yeah.
really haven't done anything
like,
since. It's like, well,
Not good.
because you are. He's like, there's no inventory. You know,
It's
that's like the
excuses, a lot of
excuse,
excuses,
as
yeah.
opposed to like, well, I'm going to figure out how to help people out and help them meet their
Exactly.
goals and blah, blah, blah. And then you end up making a sale.
Dude, I think about back in like 2008. Like I was having the best year ever in 2008. I was
Yeah.
going into like this meltdown, and I was like banging it out.
You're like, no, it's
Because
not happening.
there's opportunity in every scenario.
Yep.
Every scenario. I know people that like made a killing off like foreclosures and
right.
Sales,
like you can
yeah.
find ways to like make the. There's a lot of money.
There's always a
floating around.
market.
Yeah.
Right. And
It's
if it shrinks
opportunity.
5%, but you grow your market share 2%,
Yeah.
you know, you're going to do
You
okay.
have to adapt.
Adapt.
Any
That's a
change,
big
any
part of it.
change
Gotta
in the
adapt.
market, you're right. Any change up or down creates opportunity, and I think
Exactly.
you took advantage of that, Paul. You're right. So.
The
I
people
take
that make
advantage of a lot of
excuses and blame everything else have the negative attitudes. And it's like Paul, years and years ago when I first met Paul, one of the things that he was up on his soapbox preaching to a team about.
Literally, I think I used to
It's
stand on my
stuck
chair. yeah.
in my
what
head.
Did I do? What did I do? Tell me.
He was talking to his team, and he's like, "This is our pond, right? You're all ducks in this pond, and this is our pond. And if any of you guys have a bad negative attitude in here, it's like shitting in our pond, and we're all swimming around it. Do not shit in my pond." It was
Sounds like you'd
hilarious.
say
First
that.
of all,
Yeah.
you screwed it up. It's fishbowl.
Or whatever it was,
fishbowl.
I don't.
You're- yeah, it was
The
a
message
fishbowl.
was
Don't
great.
shit in my
It's true,
fishbowl.
though, yeah.
Don't
like
shit in my
Brad.
fishbowl. Yeah,
Brad's
yeah,
It was
yeah.
great, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I've used it a few times in the past since then, but
It's
great.
because it's contagious. Like if someone's around you being
Yeah.
negative, like you're gonna start being like,
You don't want to hang out with that person.
no, dude.
No.
But if
Let's
someone's
be
like, let's
honest.
go, like we're rocking and rolling,
Well,
like that, well, let's get the horse, let's go.
And
Yeah.
often, like the person who's freaking out right now because I don't have anything going on, and you know, so and so's like killing it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But they won't ask so and so why they're killing it,
Right.
Right? They're just kind of like,
Yeah.
Why not me? And
Yeah,
oh,
it's like-
he's doing better than me, and because he knows this
Yeah.
person.
Oh,
It's
they're
always
feeding
this,
him
right?
the leads.
It's like,
good
yeah,
leads.
yeah,
he's
hang
getting-
the
he's
skates
getting
up
the
and go
Glenn
manage a
Gary's-
McDonald's,
It's
dude.
human
Like,
nature.
get out of here.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah. You got to be able to look past it and say, because usually when you're in that mode, it's your deficiency.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something's going on in you, right? Because if people are succeeding around you
Yeah.
and you're not, it's probably because of you.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's-
100%.
And
Right.
people don't realize how much they affect. They're the ones that have the control of how things affect you, how the outside world affects you. You can either let it be negative and be down and out, or you
Yeah.
can be positive. It's all on how you look at it, what lens are you looking through.
Yeah.
And letting, everyone has crappy people in your life, people
Uh-huh.
that could bring you down. But are you going to let that happen? Are you going to let them have a bigger piece of the pie of your life, or are you not?
Yeah.
Who do you want to who do you want to influence you, and who do you want to be?
Which
Who's
is why
not?
you're going to stop hanging out with your brother.
Yeah.
I know, it's trouble.
You know, Ryan and I, over the last little over a year, we've been working with a business coach.
Okay.
We meet
Okay,
with
yeah.
her, with her once a week. And coaches in general, I don't believe tell you too much that you don't already know.
Yeah,
But
for
they
sure.
hold you accountable.
Yeah.
They
That's second voice.
pull. Yeah, it is. And one of the things that she continues to remind us is that's right. Opportunity, stay positive, and I think it's really paid off in
Yeah,
how we look at
It's
business.
important, dude.
So,
It's in our business. Mindset
Yeah,
is so
mindset.
paramount.
You got
It's
it.
so paramount to your success because you can literally will yourself into success if you just believe it.
Yep.
You just work towards it every day.
Yeah.
It's when you
I
get
agree.
down and like you're like this isn't working, and all of a sudden you just stop, and 3 months later you have no business, right?
It's physically healthy too. Like,
Yeah.
like when you're stressed out. Like yesterday, I was like, I had like
Sal was in
a
rough shape
rhino horn
yesterday.
pop up on my head. I was so stressed.
Sal
I
was like
like,
Oscar the Grouch. I'm like, what's going on?
I
wasn't
don't
even-
talk to me, and like I had to go home. I kind of had to shut off,
Yeah.
sleep, and be like, all right,
Yeah, we're back.
whatever, we're gonna get it done. We're gonna figure it out.
I wasn't
We
even
always
in
do,
the office.
right?
Just talking to Sal on the phone, I was like, "You are not."
I'm
in
like,
a good
Sal, how you
place right
doing?
now."
He's like,
Yeah, he's like, do you like the yellow or the blue logo?
I don't care. I'm in hell.
But you look at all the successful people out there in the world, they all failed. They all struggled. And that's how you learn.
Yes.
If it was
Yeah.
easy, everyone would be doing it, and you wouldn't learn, you wouldn't grow, you wouldn't evolve.
Yeah.
You
You
can't
have
win
to
without losing.
Exactly. You have to
Yeah.
have those tough times. And it's how do you handle that? What do you do? Do you just kind of put your head down and complain and blame it on someone else? Or do you, you brush yourself off, get up, learn from it, and grow? And that's I think what separates the everyone out there is the good from the bad, or the the successful from the non-successful. How are you handling these hurdles? Because they're in every industry. There's hurdles that you're gonna have brought up to you, and are you taking it as a great learning experience? And I'm not saying you're gonna have days where you're gonna grow a little horn on your head. That happens, and that's totally fine. But that allows you to kind of step back and
how do you
your
rebound? Is the
perspective.
question,
Exactly.
right? How do you rebound from that?
Which sometimes it crushes people, but you got to take it and run with it. and learn.
So we're at the point of the show where we do 3 questions. We do it on every show. First question's always the same, and the first question is, what scares you? So you can either you don't answer like the same answer, right? So
I'd say I honestly, what scares me. Oh, are we talking business or personal?
Whatever.
One thing that worries me, not so much scares me, but I do worry a little bit about it, is affordability. Is the home price of the affordability?
Yeah, I can see that.
These prices have bounced back from the recession so quickly. Little too quick for my comfort.
I will tell you, there was it stopped, right? We were going hot and heavy, and it was going nuts 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Multiple hours, 10 hours. Now I feel like we're starting to get more comfortable, but if we start seeing that again, I agree with you. I don't want to overheat.
But
what scares you?
I'll go on a different aspect. What scares me is technology has jumped into our industry, which is awesome, and I love it, and I think it's great. But it scares me that our industry is going to go away from the customer service side, and it's going to go more automated, and it's going to go. Everyone wants to save a few bucks and do a few extra things or a few less things, make it easier, but they don't realize what they're losing until it's gone.
Yeah.
And that goes for having a great mortgage rep who's on the phone walking through the process. Same with realtors. So it scares me with technology going too fast and too far to where it's going to cut out that customer service that you need, that hand-holding, which I think is a part of everything.
It'll go there until some people have some horror stories, and then all of a sudden
it'll happen.
For instance, I'll just give you an example. I'll move on to the next question. Like think Quicken, right? Back when I was at Quicken, it was innovative, and you could do it online. And now people don't want to get hammered with 1,000 phone calls. They don't want to They want to meet the person, right? So it's kind of been a backlash even in that.
Exactly.
So I think we'll see something like the pendulum swing both ways at some point. Second question: what is one trait in your brother that you wish you had that you don't? And you got to answer each other.
Man, I like
his hairline.
You didn't even go over
Got a
his
great
hairline.
He's got a great hairline.
I mean, pretty simple.
It's really good.
For me, I would say Brad knows everything. He was.
Wow.
He was
There we go.
No, I'm dead serious.
There we go.
Are we recording?
The whole world's here.
He didn't like it, and it's tough on him, and I'll give him a lot of props. Is he was our dad's second man for a long time.
Yeah.
And he's been in the business 15 plus years, and he knows everything, and that's something that I'm still learning and going through. He's the guy I call all the time, and so I'm sure he's like, God damn, is Ryan calling again? But and I'm so fortunate to have him to ask those questions. But he has the knowledge. He's been through the ups and downs, and he's learned in my eyes from the best, which is our dad. So
we've had some fun working together.
For sure, dude. For sure,
so.
I can see that. But
That's
you have the hairline.
yeah,
That's right. I'll trade knowledge for a hairline any day. Are you kidding?
Man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, last question is: if you could be one animal in the animal kingdom, what would it be and why?
a wolf.
Wolf.
Oh,
All right.
that's a good one.
I like that one. All right,
but why?
Oh man,
Sly
I knew you were
little
gonna
devil,
ask
you.
that.
That was a quick answer for
I
not
know,
having a why
right?
behind
I
it.
know.
Well, I mean,
kinda
wolf
jumped
is-
the
Last
gun.
name.
I jumped the gun. I think.
I just got excited. I said wolf. I mean,
on
a
my
wolf
head.
is a
I mean,
cool.
last
I mean, let's
Last
Yeah,
name
wolf's
would be a
like-
good
it's
answer
cool
too.
as
Like,
shit.
yeah.
Let's just say it's
One
cool
man
as
wolf
shit.
pack.
I think from
Brad's
that,
thinking hard. Look at Brad.
Yeah,
Look at
God,
him,
you
dude.
stumped me.
Look at
I don't
him.
know.
It's pretty tough.
there's not
Brad's called,
someone
like,
else out there who's
pelican.
dictating how you live your life, how you're out there. I guess from a wolf standpoint, they
Yeah.
live and do their own. There isn't too many that hunt them. I feel from my eyes, you should stay focused on what you want to do. What's your niche? What's your product? What are you delivering to the clients out there? And not
like that.
worrying about what everyone else is doing. I know we talked about it a lot today.
Yeah.
You can get so caught up in that minutia and all that
Yeah.
stuff, what's going on in the industry, but more
Yeah.
on be true to who you are and what is getting you to
So
where you
you're a
wanna be.
spirit animal.
I
is a
actually,
wolf.
I
I actually
guess.
like wolf. I like wolf more and more because think about it, their pack animal. They rely on the
work
team around
together.
them, right?
Yeah.
Family
It's
is
good.
huge.
Yeah.
They're smart as shit.
I like that
Yeah.
answer a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a good answer.
We're the big
All right,
thing
Brad,
that
what do you
we
got?
push at the office.
Wow.
Is family.
Brad's
and
like-
family's huge, and not only obviously we grow up and we have a huge family
Yeah.
within ourselves and the company, but I look at all of our agents as family, and that's huge to me because it builds our unbelievable culture that we have there.
It's a big deal.
It's important.
It's a big
Very
deal, dude.
important.
Having the right people
For
around you and like being a support system, I think, is huge.
The wolf pack.
Brad's
Yeah.
a duck.
A duck. He shit in my pond,
It's
man.
a squirrel. He's a squirrel.
A squirrel. Oh yeah, here we go. Here comes the jokes. I don't even want to answer it after that one.
You gotta answer. It's part of the show. Or else we can't move on.
Man,
we can't leave.
I'd
until
have
you
to
answer.
say, you know what? The only thing that's been on my mind is a fish. Here we go. See, here we go.
Is it like a piranha?
Just because I'm looking forward to getting down to Florida in a couple weeks, and one thing
What
I
kind
love.
of fish?
I
Marlin?
don't know.
What do you mean,
I don't
marlin?
know. Yeah, let's
Goldfish.
go with marlin. And I'm looking forward to grabbing the fishing pole and tuning it out for
That's
a couple
awesome.
days.
That's
So
always
that's
good,
it.
man.
Nice.
That's always good.
That's all I'm thinking about.
What about you, Jessica? We've never asked you, Jessica. What would you be? What kind of animal?
Lion.
Lion.
Oh,
That's always a big
That
one.
came out quick. She's
Yeah.
thought of
She's
it.
gonna run the show.
I have.
Yeah.
She is running the
A
show.
lion or a lion? What is it?
Lioness.
Yeah, I guess lioness because
Lion,
I'm
yeah.
a girl.
Yeah, yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. It'd be weird if you just acted.
Yeah.
You'd have the bits and all.
Oh, good.
What would you be, Paul?
What would I be?
man.
Man, I've
I
never.
see you being like a macaque or something, just annoying. Like,
what?
Almost a
macaque.
yeah,
The
like
bird, right?
You could suck my
there's those
macaque.
like
Paul would be a
Am I
peacock.
way off?
no,
It's
it's
a-
like one of those little monkeys,
Oh yes, they
like
did.
those
I'm
annoying
sorry.
monkeys
yeah,
steal.
With the-
You'd be
with the
stealing
red
people's
ass?
cigarettes and whatnot.
I could see that. Yeah.
Smoking.
Sitting in the corner.
A macaque. I don't even know how
Yes.
you know that.
You just answered for him. It's great.
I'll take the macaque. I'll be the macaque.
All right.
So
All right,
why
guys.
did you want to be that?
Well, I would the macaque because I can smoke cigarettes and steal people's stuff. So
Be kind of fun.
tell the
you
audience
can't
how
get
they
in
get
trouble.
get a hold of you guys, man. You guys do a really good job. Thank you so much for doing the show. Honestly, you guys were
Thank
a lot
you
of fun.
guys.
So
Yeah.
tell the audience how they can get a hold of you if they need your services.
Go ahead.
So, HollandHunterRealtors.com. That's our website.
Yeah.
We're downtown Birmingham. Come see us.
yeah.
442 South Old Woodward. Phone number 644-3500. Obviously 248 area code. But you can find us all over the internet. Just type in Holland Hunter Realtors. and
Yeah,
you'll
come
find
on in.
us
We
one way or another.
renovated the office about a handful of years ago. It looks great. We'd love to show it off.
Awesome.
We'll bring you a cup of coffee up front,
Yeah.
whatever.
We got
So-
social media. Any
Great
social
closing
media
room.
outlet, you'll
Great
find
closing
it.
room.
Yeah,
Great
you guys have-
closing room. Yeah,
great
you guys
closing
know
room.
that really
Long
well.
table.
You
That's
guys
like
did it
ceilings.
right.
It's a good room to
You
be
guys,
in.
you guys have a great group. Honestly, guys, you guys were awesome
We're
on the show.
fortunate to have this group. That
You-
we have.
yeah.
We really
So when are we
Well-
doing this again? This is fun.
Well, dude,
I
it's
like
your
it.
call. If you guys actually want to come back, it's rare. Nobody ever even calls us after this.
Except, you know, we cut it every Wednesday, and once in a while, one time we had someone just pop in the middle of a show.
yeah.
It's like, hey,
Raffin, Tony Raffin, you guys know who he is.
it
So
was great. I loved it.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Obviously, Sal, do the thing where they can find us. You said you're going to handle that.
Oh
for now.
yeah.
Anywhere. Google it. I mean, he's like got this whole list of things. Just
All right, I fucking hate you. All right, let's go.
Stitcher, iTunes,
Anywhere,
Google
Google
Play, figure it out.
All right, thank you guys. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you,
you.
everybody. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day. Bye, guys.
You've been listening to Inside Real Estate.